From the very dawn of creation, an invisible war has raged quietly beneath the surface of human history, a fierce battle between darkness and light, between truth and deception. It is a struggle so subtle yet so profound that most people go their entire lives without ever recognizing its presence. In the midst of this cosmic conflict, certain individuals have been marked, chosen and set apart for a divine purpose far greater than anything the world can offer. Yet here's the startling truth. Most of these chosen individuals never fully realize it. They drift through life feeling misunderstood, often struggling, wrestling with a deep sense of isolation, uncertain of their purpose, lost in a world obsessed with money, status, and superficial definitions of success. But what if you were one of these chosen ones? What if since childhood, divine signs had quietly been revealing your destiny, yet you either ignored them or simply failed to recognize their profound meaning? What if every struggle you've endured, every victory you've celebrated, every moment of loneliness you've experienced was actually part of a divine, carefully orchestrated plan? Today, you're about to uncover a truth so powerful, so life-changing, that your entire perspective on life may shift forever. If you've ever sensed a divine presence guiding you, if you've ever felt out of place in a world consumed by materialism, wealth, and luxury, pay close attention, because your life holds a purpose far greater, far richer, and far more impactful than anything this world can offer. But first, if you haven't already, I invite you to join our community. Subscribe right now and turn on notifications, because what you're about to discover are truths that can redefine your understanding of who you are and who you were always meant to be. And if you're ready, comment below right now, declaring this powerful affirmation over your life. I trust that God will grant me victory to overcome every obstacle. Each comment will receive a heart from me, as a symbol of standing together in faith. Chosen from the womb, your destiny precedes your birth. From the very moment of your creation, long before you ever drew your first breath or took your first steps, a divine purpose was already woven deeply into your being. Your life was not an accident, not merely the result of chance or circumstance, but a deliberate act of God's perfect design. Jeremiah 1:5 says, "Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart." This profound truth is more than just poetic. It reveals a spiritual law that applies to every soul marked by the hand of God. Consider Moses, whose life was threatened from his earliest moments. Pharaoh sought to extinguish his life because darkness recognized his destiny even before he himself did. Yet God protected him, placing him safely into the arms of Pharaoh's daughter, shielding him within the very palace that sought his destruction. Moses' destiny wasn't determined by his circumstances, but by the divine calling that was upon him even before birth. Likewise, Joseph's life illustrates this truth vividly. As a young boy, he was given dreams and visions of greatness, yet instead of support and encouragement, he received rejection and betrayal. His own brothers sold him into slavery, unaware they were pushing him toward his divine purpose. It was these very trials, orchestrated not by chance but by divine intention, that prepared him for his eventual rise to leadership. Just like Moses and Joseph, you too have a calling placed upon your life before your very first breath. Your struggles, your challenges, the times you felt isolated or misunderstood were never mere accidents. They were divine signals pointing toward a greater purpose. Many people misunderstand these early hardships, seeing them as misfortune or random cruelty, when in reality, they are evidence of destiny. The enemy recognizes your potential before you do, striving to discourage and derail you from the path you were born to walk. If you've ever felt different, if you've carried within you a deep, unspoken awareness that your life holds greater meaning, pay attention. Your story was written by the Creator himself, each page filled with intentionality, each moment preparing you to step fully into your calling. The battles you have faced since childhood are not pointless. They are confirmation of your divine identity. Your life's struggles and victories alike are carefully woven threads forming the tapestry of your purpose, a destiny that has been calling to you from the womb. The purpose, greater than wealth. God's true definition of success. We live in a world captivated by the allure of wealth, constantly reinforcing the message that true success is defined by riches, status, and material gain. From our earliest days, society conditions us to chase after possessions, believing that luxury and prosperity are the ultimate keys to happiness and security. Yet, how many people reach these heights only to discover an emptiness that no amount of wealth or comfort can fill? God's definition of success stands in stark contrast to the world's shallow measures. It isn't rooted in bank accounts, luxury cars, or lavish lifestyles. Rather, it is anchored deeply in purpose, calling, and lasting spiritual impact. Consider the life of Moses. Raised amidst the unparalleled riches of Pharaoh's palace, he possessed every imaginable luxury. Yet within him burned an unmistakable longing, a divine yearning to fulfill a purpose far beyond his royal privileges. His heart was never truly satisfied until he stepped away from the grandeur of Egypt and embraced the call to liberate God's people. Similarly, Esther enjoyed a life of opulence in a royal palace, yet it wasn't until she courageously embraced her divine purpose, risking everything to save her people, that she found true fulfillment. This profound reality reveals that true abundance is not measured by material accumulation, but by alignment with God's purpose. The world glorifies wealth as the ultimate sign of achievement. Yet countless people who have chased financial success remain restless and fearful, constantly anxious about losing what they have gained. Conversely, those who walk confidently in their God-given purpose experience a peace and satisfaction unmatched by earthly riches. They carry a powerful presence, clarity of direction, and inner peace that money simply cannot buy. Their success is eternal, echoing far beyond temporary wealth. If you have ever sensed an inner longing for something more meaningful than worldly success, it is because your spirit recognizes a calling greater than riches, a divine purpose that surpasses the fleeting comforts of luxury. This is God's true definition of success. Living fully and courageously in alignment with the purpose for which you were uniquely created. Childhood signs of a divine calling, hidden in plain sight. Childhood is a sacred stage of life, where the purest, most authentic version of ourselves emerges long before the world imposes its definitions of success or limitations. It is during these tender years that God often plants seeds of destiny, quietly placing signs of a divine calling within a child's heart. Yet tragically, most people overlook these early whispers, dismissing them as mere imagination, coincidence, or the naive dreams of youth. Consider Joseph, who experienced prophetic dreams as a boy, visions that revealed his future greatness. Yet, instead of being nurtured, he was met with jealousy and rejection. His brothers saw arrogance in those dreams. God saw purpose. Samuel, too, experienced a divine calling at a young age, hearing God's voice clearly, even though initially neither he nor Eli, the priest, fully grasped its meaning. Solomon, as a young man, was given wisdom surpassing his age, a clear indication of his divine assignment to lead with insight and understanding. Many of us share this experience, moments from childhood where our hearts resonated differently from our peers, times when we felt out of place because our dreams, passions, or gifts didn't align with worldly expectations. Perhaps you were drawn to spirituality while others chased popularity, felt compassion deeply in a world often indifferent, or held ideas and dreams that seem beyond your years. Yet, society often dismisses these signs as mere childhood fantasies, encouraging conformity to standards measured by money, status, and material possessions. But nothing in God's plan is accidental. Every unique desire, every distinct gift placed in you from childhood serves as a divine marker, revealing glimpses of your greater purpose. Those early signs, those feelings of difference or moments of clarity, were intentional whispers from heaven, guiding you toward a calling bigger than worldly riches or temporary pleasures. Your childhood experiences were not coincidences. They were God's gentle whispers, guiding you toward a destiny uniquely crafted for your life. Recognizing these signs now can transform your understanding of every struggle and victory, illuminating the purpose that has been within you since your earliest days. Why the enemy targets the chosen early. Why some people seem to face relentless struggles, even from their earliest years, while others live seemingly untouched by adversity. This is no accident. It's a targeted attack from an enemy who recognizes destiny long before it becomes evident. From the earliest stages of life, those chosen by God often encounter intense opposition designed to discourage, weaken, and distract them from their divine purpose. Consider Moses. Before he could even speak, Pharaoh ordered the execution of all Hebrew baby boys, desperate to eliminate Israel's future deliverer. Or Jesus, who, as an infant, faced King Herod's ruthless massacre aimed specifically at silencing the Messiah before his light could shine into the darkness. These attacks reveal a spiritual reality. The enemy fears not the person you currently are, but the powerful impact you will have when fully aligned with God's purpose. Your hardships, struggles, rejections, and battles aren't random. They're strategic attempts by darkness to prevent you from stepping into your calling. The enemy doesn't attack those who pose no threat. He targets those marked for greatness. Perhaps you've experienced inexplicable challenges since childhood: rejection, betrayal, loneliness, or seemingly endless struggles. Know this: these attacks weren't meant to destroy you, but to derail your purpose. The enemy's greatest fear is that you'll discover your true identity and rise above the distractions of worldly success, money, luxury, and superficial achievements to fulfill a purpose greater than yourself. But here's the empowering truth: God never allows opposition without purpose. Every battle you've endured has strengthened you, shaped your character, and prepared you to carry the weight of your calling. The attacks aren't proof of weakness, they are evidence of your strength and potential. If the enemy has fought you fiercely, it's because he sees the impact you're destined to have. Embrace this truth, for recognizing it will free you from discouragement, igniting within you a powerful determination to step fully into your divine destiny. The development through trials. How God shapes the chosen. Every chosen life experiences a season of testing, a journey through the fires of hardship that shapes character, strengthens faith, and prepares the heart for divine destiny. To the world, struggles may seem like setbacks, evidence that something has gone wrong. But in God's hands, trials are never wasted. They are carefully orchestrated preparations for purpose. Consider Joseph, whose dreams of leadership and greatness were met with betrayal, slavery, and imprisonment. Each painful step he endured was not punishment but preparation, training him to govern Egypt with compassion, humility, and divine wisdom. David, anointed as king in his youth, spent years fleeing persecution and surviving in the wilderness before ever ascending to the throne. These harsh trials weren't meant to break him. They were divine training, building the courage and humility he would need to lead God's people. Even Moses, raised in the luxury and privilege of Pharaoh's palace, was driven into the wilderness for 40 years, stripped of earthly comfort to learn total reliance on God alone. Many who are called wonder why their path has been marked by so much hardship and pain. They look around and question why others seem to achieve success easily, living comfortable lives filled with riches and luxury, while they struggle and suffer. But here's the divine truth. Trials are not punishments, they're preparation. They shape you, mold you, and refine you into the person you were always meant to become. God never sends unprepared leaders into their purpose. He never gives untested warriors victory. Every challenge you have faced, every painful experience, every season of isolation has had purpose, equipping you to sustain the weight of your destiny. So, don't despise your hardships, embrace them. They're not proof that you've been forgotten. They're proof you've been set apart. God's greatest leaders have always been forged through adversity, strengthened in seasons of struggle, prepared in moments of pain. If your journey has been filled with difficulty, rejoice, because the magnitude of your trials is merely an indication of the greatness of your calling. Childhood gifts. Recognizing your divine abilities. Early. From the earliest moments of life, God begins to plant unique, powerful gifts within each chosen individual. Divine clues of the purpose they are destined to fulfill. Often, these gifts appear subtly, manifesting as unusual talents, deep compassion, or spiritual insight far beyond one's years. Samuel, as a young boy, heard the clear voice of God in a time when others heard only silence. Solomon displayed extraordinary wisdom even in youth, choosing understanding over material gain, and because of that, God granted him not just wisdom, but unparalleled prosperity. These gifts were not random, they were divine markers pointing directly to their calling. Similarly, the gifts placed within you since childhood were never accidental. Perhaps you've always had the ability to inspire and encourage others, felt drawn to helping the suffering, or possessed talents that others couldn't understand. Yet society often pressures people to ignore these divine abilities, pushing them instead toward wealth, luxury, and superficial measures of success. How many gifted people waste their lives chasing empty dreams defined by money, never realizing that their true fulfillment lies in serving a greater purpose. Your childhood gifts, those innate talents and passions, were never random. They were carefully placed within you by God Himself. If you've ever felt different, more sensitive, wiser, or uniquely driven towards spiritual or compassionate goals, it's because you were designed to do something significant for the kingdom. Your fulfillment won't come from accumulating wealth or status. It will flow from using those gifts to serve and uplift others, fulfilling the very mission for which you were created. Recognize these gifts, embrace them boldly, and watch how God transforms your potential into powerful purpose, bringing a fulfillment no amount of worldly success could ever provide. There comes a time when the chosen can no longer remain hidden, when the calling they've carried quietly within becomes undeniable. Moses left the luxury of Egypt, David stepped forward to face Goliath, and Jesus walked boldly into his mission. Their purpose overshadowed fear, their calling outweighed every temptation of worldly wealth and status. Today, it's your turn. Will you remain distracted by worldly pursuits, wealth, luxury, and temporary pleasures, or will you courageously embrace your divine destiny? Your struggles, your uniqueness, your isolation, they've all prepared you for this moment. God's call has always been there, whispering through the chaos of life. Now it's your turn. Will you answer? If this message resonates deeply with your soul, don't hesitate to share your thoughts in the comments. Declare your commitment, and if this touched your heart, don't keep it to yourself. Share this with someone who needs encouragement, someone who feels lost, someone waiting to discover their divine calling. Because when the chosen finally step into their purpose, the world changes forever.
Have you ever felt a deep, unshakable connection to the world around you? Do people often confide in you, seeking guidance as if drawn to your presence? Have you always felt like you were different, as though your soul carried a purpose beyond the ordinary? Perhaps, just perhaps, you are an earth angel, a celestial being disguised as a human, walking among us to spread light, wisdom, and healing. Earth angels are not mythological figures confined to religious texts or spiritual folklore. They are real, living among us, often unaware of their divine essence. These beings are here to experience the full spectrum of human life, joy, pain, love, and loss, so that they may better serve as guides, healers, and beacons of light. If you've ever questioned your place in this world, wondering why you feel so deeply, why you seem to attract troubled souls, or why your very presence brings comfort to others, then read on. Here are 7 profound signs that you might be an angel in disguise. Number 1, you possess wisdom beyond your years. Some individuals move through life with an innate understanding of the world, as if they have lived many lifetimes before. They grasp concepts that others struggle to comprehend and navigate the complexities of existence with a sense of clarity and intuition. If this resonates with you, it may be a sign that you are an earth angel, someone whose wisdom surpasses their years and whose soul carries an ancient knowledge beyond this lifetime. From an early age, a deep curiosity about life's greatest mysteries may have set you apart from your peers. While others were content with simple play and fleeting amusements, your mind sought deeper meaning. You may have been drawn to philosophy, fascinated by nature's intricate balance, or captivated by the vastness of the universe. Thoughts about existence, purpose, and the unseen forces that shape reality may have occupied your mind long before others around you even considered such questions. Rather than accepting things at face value, you instinctively search for the truth, questioning norms, traditions, and beliefs with an inner knowing that there was more beneath the surface. People often describe those with such insight as having an old soul. It is as though your wisdom is not learned through experience alone, but rather something embedded within you from birth. You may have found that others turn to you for guidance, sensing in you a perspective that transcends ordinary understanding. Even without formal knowledge or training, an intuitive grasp of right and wrong guides your decisions, allowing you to see the bigger picture in ways that others do not. However, possessing such wisdom can sometimes be isolating. Conversations centered on superficial matters may feel unfulfilling, leaving you yearning for deeper connections. While others find comfort in the mundane, you may struggle to relate to their interests, making social interactions feel hollow or forced. This sense of being different is not a flaw, but a testament to the depth of your soul. It is precisely this wisdom that makes you a guiding light for others, offering clarity in moments of uncertainty and reminding those around you of life's greater purpose. This gift is not meant to separate you from the world, but to help illuminate it. By embracing the wisdom within, you step into your role as a beacon of enlightenment. Your insights, though sometimes misunderstood, hold the power to inspire, heal, and transform those who are ready to see beyond the ordinary. Rather than feeling burdened by your depth, recognize it as a divine calling, a reminder that you are here to bring light to a world that desperately needs it. Number 2, strangers are drawn to you for advice. There is an undeniable presence about certain individuals, an energy that makes others feel instantly safe, understood, and accepted. Some people naturally exude warmth and wisdom, becoming a source of comfort even to those they have just met. If strangers frequently open up to you, sharing their personal struggles and seeking guidance without hesitation, it is more than just a coincidence. This may be a sign that you are an earth angel, someone whose energy invites trust, healing, and emotional release. Countless times you may have found yourself in unexpected conversations where someone you barely know confides in you, revealing their worries, pain, or deepest emotions. It could happen anywhere, in a coffee shop, at a bus stop, or even during a casual encounter with a stranger in passing. While others might find it unusual or even overwhelming to be on the receiving end of such vulnerability, for you it feels natural. There is something in your presence, something beyond words, that reassures people and makes them feel truly heard. Friends and acquaintances likely turn to you in times of need, valuing your perspective above others. You may have noticed that, regardless of your personal experiences, you possess an uncanny ability to offer insight and clarity. It is not merely about providing solutions, but rather about the way you listen, with patience, empathy, and an open heart. People sense this, and because of it, they gravitate toward you when they need guidance or support. Even without trying, you often find yourself playing the role of a counselor, offering reassurance and wisdom in moments of distress. This deep connection with others is not something that can be forced or taught. It stems from an energy that radiates from within, an unspoken understanding that tells people they are safe with you. Earth angels are known for their ability to absorb and transform energy, lifting the emotional weight from those around them. Many times after speaking with you, people walk away feeling lighter, as though a burden they had been carrying has suddenly become easier to bear. While this ability is a beautiful gift, it also requires balance. Constantly being the person others turn to can be emotionally draining, especially when you absorb their pain as if it were your own. Learning to set boundaries is essential, not to shut people out, but to protect your own energy so that you can continue to serve as a source of light without feeling overwhelmed. The world is full of people who long to be heard, who seek even the smallest flicker of hope in their darkest moments. If you are someone they turn to, it is because your soul carries a rare kind of light, one that guides, heals, and comforts without judgment. Embracing this role does not mean you have to carry the weight of the world, but rather that you acknowledge the power of your presence and the impact it has on those who cross your path. Number 3, you feel a strong sense of purpose, even if it's unclear. Many people find comfort in structured careers, predictable routines, and conventional life goals. But for you, these things may feel limiting. A traditional path, no matter how stable or prestigious, often fails to satisfy your soul's yearning for meaning. There is a constant restlessness, a sense that you are searching for something just beyond reach. It's not simply about success or achievement, it's about purpose. You crave work that makes a difference, that contributes to something larger than yourself. Whether through helping others, teaching, healing, or advocating for change. This longing may have been present since childhood, manifesting as an early desire to understand the world, to make it better, or to uplift those around you. While others may have pursued material goals, you were drawn to the deeper aspects of life, questioning your existence and wondering how you could contribute to the greater good. Even if you haven't yet discovered the exact path you are meant to walk, the feeling that you must do something remains ever present. At times, not knowing your purpose can be frustrating, leaving you feeling lost or out of place. Yet this uncertainty does not mean that you are without direction. Earth angels are often guided by unseen forces, led by intuition rather than a clearly defined roadmap. Every experience, every encounter, and every challenge is a step toward uncovering the path you are meant to take. Trust that this journey is unfolding exactly as it should, even if the destination remains unclear. The key is to follow what ignites your soul. Pay attention to what moves you, to the moments when you feel most alive and connected. Your mission is not something you must force into existence. Rather, it is something you will naturally align with as you embrace who you are. Whether you find yourself drawn to acts of kindness, offering wisdom to those in need, or standing up for justice, these are all signs that your purpose is already revealing itself. Even if you do not yet have all the answers, trust that you are being guided. Your purpose is not defined by a title or a single achievement, but by the way you bring light into the world. Keep moving forward, keep searching, and most importantly, keep believing that you are here for a reason, because you are. Number 4, you are deeply sensitive to emotions and energies. Some people navigate life with a natural shield, unaffected by the emotions and energies around them. But for Earth angels, the experience is entirely different. Emotions are not just observed, they are deeply felt, absorbed, and sometimes even overwhelming. This heightened sensitivity is both a gift and a challenge, shaping the way Earth angels interact with the world. Crowded places, loud environments, and chaotic energy can quickly become exhausting. Being surrounded by too many people at once may leave you feeling drained, as if their emotions are seeping into your own. Even when nothing is said out loud, you instinctively sense the tension, the sadness, or the underlying stress that others carry. It is as if their emotions pass through you, echoing within your own heart. This makes social gatherings or busy spaces difficult to endure for long periods, often requiring solitude to regain balance. Violence, cruelty, and suffering weigh heavily on your soul. Movies with aggressive or disturbing themes may feel unbearable, as the emotions they portray feel too real. News of injustice or harm inflicted upon others lingers in your mind long after you hear about it, making it difficult to simply move on the way others seem to. It is not just sadness or discomfort. It is a deep, personal response to the pain of the world, as though it is your own burden to carry. This level of empathy extends beyond spoken words. Even before someone expresses their emotions, you already sense them. A friend pretending to be fine, a stranger hiding their pain, or a loved one suppressing their frustration. It is all as clear to you as if they had said it outright. Your intuition allows you to connect with people on a profound level, often making them feel understood in ways they never expected. Your presence alone can be a source of comfort, as those around you feel truly seen, even without explaining themselves. While such deep sensitivity can feel overwhelming, it is not a weakness. It is a rare and powerful gift. The ability to understand emotions on such an intuitive level allows for immense healing, both for yourself and others. You are able to offer comfort where it is needed, wisdom when it is sought, and support in times of struggle. However, learning to protect your own energy is essential. Without boundaries, the weight of others' emotions can become too much to bear, leaving you exhausted or emotionally drained. Number 5. You are drawn to healing and spiritual practices. There is a natural inclination within some individuals to bring comfort, healing, and balance to those around them. For Earth Angels, this calling is not just an interest, it is an integral part of their being. Whether through traditional medicine, alternative therapies, or spiritual guidance, the desire to help others heal is deeply embedded in their soul. A fascination with energy work, meditation, and holistic healing often develops early in life. Practices like Reiki, chakra balancing, sound healing, or even simple mindfulness exercises feel instinctively powerful, as if they hold the key to restoring harmony within the body and mind. This pull toward energetic healing is not accidental. Earth Angels are naturally attuned to the subtle vibrations of the universe, understanding that everything carries energy and that true healing begins at a spiritual level. Beyond physical wellness, the emotional and spiritual healing of others becomes a priority. There is a deep belief in the transformative power of love and light, an understanding that healing is not just about treating symptoms, but about addressing the soul's wounds. Whether it is through kind words, a reassuring presence, or simply holding space for someone in pain, Earth Angels have a profound ability to uplift others. People feel lighter, calmer, and more at peace after interacting with them, even when no tangible action has been taken. This gift extends beyond personal relationships. A career in healthcare, counseling, coaching, or spiritual teaching may feel like a natural path, though formal training is not always necessary to fulfill this role. Healing can come in many forms, offering a listening ear, sharing wisdom, or simply radiating a presence that makes others feel safe and valued. Even without consciously choosing a healing profession, Earth Angels still find themselves drawn to situations where their guidance and support are needed. The reason for this lies in the divine energy they carry. Earth Angels exist to restore balance in a world that often falls into chaos. Their presence alone has a stabilizing effect, like a calm beacon amidst a storm. Whether they actively practice healing techniques or simply move through life with kindness and compassion, they are constantly working toward their higher purpose. Recognizing this calling is the first step toward embracing it. The path of an Earth Angel is not about grand gestures or dramatic transformations, but rather about small, meaningful moments of love and connection. Every smile, every comforting word, and every act of kindness contributes to the healing of the world. Whether through energy work, spiritual guidance, or simply being a source of light for those in need. An Earth Angel's mission is always the same: to bring peace, love, and balance to all who cross their path. Number 6. You often attract toxic or abusive relationships. There is something undeniably magnetic about an Earth Angel's presence. Their kindness, empathy, and unwavering compassion naturally draw people toward them. However, this light does not only attract those who seek love and healing, it also pulls in those who are wounded, broken, or emotionally unavailable. As heartbreaking as it may be, many Earth Angels find themselves entangled in relationships with toxic individuals, unable to break free despite the pain it causes them. Being deeply empathetic, an Earth Angel does not just see a person's flaws or harmful behaviors, they see the wounds beneath. They recognize the pain that has shaped an individual and believe in their potential for change. This makes them especially vulnerable to relationships with narcissists, energy vampires, or emotionally damaged individuals. There is an innate urge to save or fix those who are suffering, even at the cost of their own well-being. The belief that love and understanding can heal another person is so strong that it becomes difficult to walk away, even when the relationship turns harmful. Despite being hurt, Earth Angels often find it hard to let go. Instead of prioritizing their own needs, they focus on the potential of what could be if only the other person would heal. Their forgiving nature allows them to overlook red flags, making endless excuses for those who mistreat them. They take on the role of the healer, the protector, the one who carries the emotional weight of the relationship. But in doing so, they risk losing themselves. This pattern is not a reflection of weakness, but of boundless compassion. However, it is crucial to recognize that love cannot heal those who are unwilling to change. No matter how much light an Earth Angel brings, true healing must come from within the individual themselves. Staying in toxic relationships in the hope of saving someone only leads to exhaustion, emotional depletion, and self-sacrifice. One of the most important lessons an Earth Angel must learn is the power of boundaries. Protecting one's own energy does not mean withholding love. It means understanding that true love does not require self-destruction. Walking away from unhealthy dynamics is not an act of abandonment, but an act of self-respect. It is a recognition that while their compassion is infinite, their energy is not. Choosing to set boundaries allows Earth Angels to continue their divine purpose without becoming trapped in cycles of pain. The right people, those who appreciate their kindness rather than take advantage of it, will enter their lives when they learn to prioritize their own emotional health. Healing the world does not mean carrying the weight of everyone's suffering. It means shining brightly, knowing that their light is meant to illuminate, not to be dimmed by those unwilling to heal. Number 7, you have an intense and deep personality. There are those who skim the surface of life, content with casual conversations and fleeting connections. But for an Earth Angel, this is not enough. Depth, meaning, and authenticity are what truly matter. There is an insatiable desire to explore the mysteries of existence, to understand the intricacies of the human soul, and to connect with others on a profound level. Superficial interactions often feel empty and unfulfilling. Small talk can be exhausting, leaving you longing for conversations that carry substance. You seek out discussions about purpose, love, the universe, and the deeper truths that shape human existence. Whether it's late-night philosophical debates or heartfelt exchanges about life's struggles, these are the moments that make you feel truly alive. Because of this, people sometimes perceive you as too intense or too deep. Your thoughts are vast, your emotions run strong, and your curiosity about the world knows no bounds. While some admire this quality, others may struggle to understand it. In a society that often encourages surface-level engagement, your desire for meaning can make you feel like an outsider. Yet it is this very depth that makes you extraordinary. Your mind is wired to question, to seek, and to reflect. Love is not just an emotion, but an experience that you analyze with great care. Existence is not something you take for granted, but something you contemplate with wonder. You feel deeply, not only for yourself, but for others, for the world, and for the universe as a whole. Though not everyone may understand your depth, it serves a powerful purpose. You are here to awaken others, to remind them that life is more than what meets the eye, Your ability to think, feel, and connect on such a profound level is a gift, one that allows you to inspire, guide, and bring wisdom to those who are ready to see beyond the surface of life. If you recognize yourself in these signs, know this: you are not alone. There are many like you, walking this earth with the same sense of purpose and the same yearning to heal. But being an earth angel is not always easy. You may feel burdened by the world's suffering, frustrated by your inability to fix everything. Yet remember, your presence alone is enough to make a difference. Every kind word, every act of love, every moment of understanding ripples through the universe in ways you cannot imagine. The world needs you. It needs your light, your wisdom, your love. Whether you call yourself an earth angel or simply a person with a big heart, your presence is a gift to this world. So dear earth angel, keep shining, keep healing, keep loving, and remember, you are never alone. Let's like this video, subscribe, and share your thoughts and experiences below. Let's create a ripple of positivity and inspire one another to embrace our divine purpose. You are more powerful than you know. Let your light shine.
In the vastness of life, there are moments when certain individuals feel a tug, an undeniable call that beckons them toward a greater purpose. This calling is not always understood by those around them, nor is it an easy path to walk. To be chosen by God is to be set apart, to walk a path that may lead through shadows, yet promises eternal light. The journey is not without cost, and the sacrifices are real, but the reward that awaits those who endure is far beyond anything this world can offer. If you find yourself walking this path, you are not alone. This message is for you, the chosen one. This journey is not for the faint of heart, but for those whose spirits resonate with a deeper calling, one that transcends earthly understanding. It is a path marked by challenges, spiritual warfare, and moments of solitude, but also a path that leads to a divine inheritance, an eternal glory beyond imagination. To be chosen by God is a calling that sets you apart, even in the midst of a crowd. It's a journey that often requires walking alone, a path that not everyone around you will understand or even support. Think of Abraham, the patriarch of faith, who was called to leave everything behind: his family, his homeland, his established security, and venture into the unknown at God's command. At that moment, Abraham had no roadmap, no certainty, only faith. He left the comfort of the familiar for the uncertainty of a divine promise, knowing that God had something far greater ahead, even if the road was unclear. His obedience wasn't just a personal act. It was a sacrifice that shaped the future, not just of his life, but of entire nations. Through his willingness to give up everything, God established a covenant with him that would impact generations to come. In our lives, as chosen ones, we often face similar calls to sacrifice things that others cannot comprehend. You might find yourself walking away from relationships that once felt secure, from careers that once provided stability, or from lifestyles that once offered comfort. Each of these decisions may feel like a loss, and at times you might question whether the price of your obedience is too high. You may find yourself walking through seasons of uncertainty, feeling as though you are wandering in a desert with no clear destination. But in these moments, take heart. Just as God honored Abraham's willingness to sacrifice, he honors your sacrifices as well. God sees every moment of pain, every tear, every struggle you face. He is aware of the cost you're paying, and he is not a God who forgets. In Hebrews 6:10, we are reminded, "For God is not unjust so as to forget your work and the love you have shown toward his name." Every sacrifice you make in faith is not in vain. God uses these sacrifices to refine you, to mold your character, and to prepare you for the next stage of your divine calling. While the sacrifices may seem daunting, the process itself is vital to your spiritual growth. Each act of obedience, though costly, is a stepping stone toward the greater purpose God has set for your life. It's easy to focus on what you lose along the way, the comforts, the relationships, the familiar surroundings. But true sacrifice is not about loss, it's about what you gain. When Abraham left everything behind, he not only gained a deeper trust in God, but also the promise of becoming the father of many nations. Through his obedience, God fulfilled promises that were greater than he could have ever imagined. Likewise, the sacrifices you make in obedience to God's call will lead you to a future far greater than you could envision. The promises of God are far more valuable than any temporary comfort or earthly security. They are eternal, and they are worth every sacrifice. The sacrifices you make today will be the foundation of the greater things God is preparing for you tomorrow. Trust that just as he honored Abraham, God will honor your obedience, and he will be with you every step of the way. As you walk in faith, you are not alone. He is refining you for the divine purpose he has set before you, and the promises of God will always outweigh the cost of obedience. When you are chosen by God, you suddenly find yourself on the front lines of spiritual warfare. This battle is not one fought with physical weapons or seen by the world around you, but with spiritual forces that aim to disrupt, discourage, and derail you from the purpose God has set before you. The enemy recognizes the potential within you and will do everything in his power to hinder your progress. Think of Joseph, who was divinely chosen to lead a nation. His journey was filled with overwhelming adversity, betrayal by his own brothers, false accusations, and imprisonment for crimes he did not commit. It seemed as though everything was falling apart, and that the road ahead was blocked by insurmountable obstacles. Yet through it all, Joseph's faith remained unshaken. He understood that the trials he faced were not signs of God's absence, but rather evidence that he was exactly where God wanted him to be. Joseph's story is a powerful reminder that when God chooses you for a specific purpose, it often involves spiritual battles that are meant to refine you and build your character rather than defeat you. Ephesians 6:12 reminds us, "For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world." These battles are spiritual in nature, fought against forces that we cannot see, but they are not designed to destroy us. In fact, they are part of God's divine plan to prepare us for something greater. The enemy might try to use these challenges to make you question your faith, or to weaken your resolve. But remember this, the spiritual warfare you face is not the end of your story. Just as Joseph's trials were used to prepare him for his ultimate position of power, the battles you face are merely stepping stones to the elevation God has planned for you. It's easy to feel overwhelmed when faced with spiritual battles. The weight of the struggle can leave you weary, and at times it may seem like nothing is going right. However, this is where you must hold fast to the truth that God is with you, even in the midst of the storm. The battles you are fighting today are not meant to defeat you, but to refine and strengthen you for the future God has ordained. God is shaping your character, making you more resilient, more faithful, and more equipped to handle the blessings that are yet to come. Do not grow weary or lose heart, for God is actively fighting on your behalf. Exodus 14:14 declares, "The Lord will fight for you, you need only to be still." This verse reminds us that in times of spiritual warfare, we are not called to fight alone. God himself will step in and defend us, giving us the strength we need to endure. In moments of spiritual struggle, remember that God is not distant or indifferent to your pain. He is not a far-off God, but a present and active force in your life, strengthening you in ways you may not even realize. While the enemy works tirelessly to bring doubt and fear, God is preparing you for the victory that is on its way. The battles you face are not permanent. They are merely the tools God uses to refine you and shape you into the person you need to be for the next phase of your journey. So, stand firm in your faith, knowing that God is fighting for you and that the victory is already secured. One of the most profound and often painful costs of being chosen by God is the loneliness that accompanies it. Throughout the journey of the chosen ones, moments of isolation are inevitable. When Elijah, one of God's most powerful prophets, triumphed over the prophets of Baal, he thought his victory would bring him peace. Yet, after this monumental moment, Elijah found himself fleeing for his life, consumed by a deep sense of loneliness and despair. In 1 Kings 19, we see Elijah crying out to God, feeling as though he was the only faithful one left. "I have been very zealous for the Lord God Almighty. I am the only one left," he says in his moment of distress. His victory had been followed by overwhelming loneliness, and he was burdened with the weight of his calling, feeling utterly abandoned. Have you ever felt this way, or wondered if anyone truly understands the heaviness of your calling, the sacrifices you've made, or the loneliness that often follows you on this journey? The path of the chosen often leads through valleys of loneliness, places where the weight of responsibility feels isolating. As you pursue the calling that God has set before you, you may experience times when it feels as though no one else shares your vision, or no one understands the sacrifices you've made to walk this path. The enemy uses these moments to whisper lies into your mind, lies that tell you that you are forgotten, abandoned, or unseen. He seeks to make you believe that your sacrifices are meaningless and that the loneliness you feel is a sign of God's distance. But these are lies that must be rejected. Just as God came to Elijah in his despair and isolation, he is also present with you in your moments of loneliness. God's word in Psalm 34:18 promises, "The Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit." He is near to you, even in your isolation, and he understands the weight of the burden you carry. Loneliness in the journey of the chosen one is not a punishment or sign of divine neglect. It is a sacred and necessary season of preparation. In these moments of solitude, God often removes us from the noise of the world and its distractions so that we can hear his voice more clearly. It is in the quiet, when everything else fades away, that he draws near to refine our faith and teach us to depend on him completely. When you are alone, you may feel that you are abandoned, but the truth is, God is preparing you for something greater. This season of loneliness is a time when he is refining your character, strengthening your trust, and teaching you to rely on his presence alone. Though it may feel as though you are walking through this journey by yourself, you are never truly alone. God is always with you, even when the world seems silent. He has promised to never leave you or forsake you. His angels surround you, and his comforting presence is with you in every moment of isolation. Just as he sent an angel to minister to Elijah during his darkest hour, God will send his divine comfort to you. Trust in his faithfulness. The loneliness you experience is not a sign of abandonment, but an opportunity for deeper communion with God. It is in these quiet moments that he draws closest, refining you for the purpose he has set before you. As you navigate the loneliness of being chosen, remember that this season is not wasted. It is a time of divine preparation, and it is through this isolation that God is shaping you into the person he has called you to be. You are never truly alone. God is with you, and his presence will sustain you every step of the way. Suffering is one of the most challenging costs of being chosen by God, and it is a reality that cannot be avoided in the Christian walk. It's a part of the journey that many would prefer to skip, yet it is through suffering that God refines and purifies us. The refining fire is not intended to harm us, Rather, it is a process designed to purify our hearts and strengthen our faith. Just as gold must pass through fire to be purified, our faith must undergo trials and suffering to be purified and refined. In this process, the impurities of pride, self-sufficiency, and doubt are burned away, leaving behind a faith that is unshakable, strong, and pure. Consider the life of Job, a man whom God chose to endure intense suffering. Job's life was a perfect example of how suffering can refine a person. He lost everything, his wealth, his family, his health, and yet he never lost his faith in God. Despite the overwhelming pain and loss, Job chose to trust in God's plan for his life. His suffering was not a punishment, it was a preparation for the blessings that God had in store for him. In the end, God restored everything Job had lost, and even gave him more than he had before. Job's story serves as a powerful reminder that suffering is not without purpose. It is often the catalyst for spiritual growth and greater blessings. In Romans 5:3-4, we are reminded of the purpose behind suffering. We also glory in our sufferings because we know that suffering produces perseverance, perseverance character, and character hope. Suffering is not something to be feared or avoided, but embraced as part of God's divine process. It produces perseverance, the ability to keep going when things get tough. This perseverance builds character, shaping us into individuals who reflect the heart of God. Ultimately, that character produces hope, a hope that anchors us and keeps us moving forward, even in the most difficult circumstances. The suffering you experience today is not in vain. It is shaping you into the person God has called you to be. It is a refining process that makes you more like Christ, strengthening your faith and your character, and preparing you for the blessings God has set aside for you. As you walk through the fire, trust that God is with you, refining you, and shaping you for the purposes He has designed. The pain you experience today is not the end of the story. It is only the beginning of a deeper, more vibrant faith that will carry you through life's greatest challenges. Just as the fire purifies gold, the trials you face are purifying your faith, making it stronger, more resilient, and more refined for the beautiful future that awaits you. The reward for those who endure the cost of being chosen is beyond anything we can truly comprehend. Jesus himself assures us in Matthew 19:29, "And everyone who has left houses, or brothers or sisters, or father or mother, or wife or children or fields, for my sake, will receive 100 times as much and will inherit eternal life." The promise is clear. The cost of following God and being chosen may feel heavy, but the reward that awaits is far greater than we can imagine. The reward of the chosen is not limited to the life to come. It extends to this life as well. Just as Joseph's journey from the prison to the palace proved, the perseverance and faithfulness through trials bring about elevation and fulfillment of God's promises. Abraham, who was called to leave everything familiar, became the father of nations, and Elijah, whose ministry was renewed despite periods of intense isolation, experienced the faithfulness of God. In the same way, when you endure hardships, sacrifices, and spiritual battles, you too will experience the rewards of your perseverance. God is faithful to those who remain faithful to Him, and His promises will never fail. Moreover, the reward of being chosen is not just for you, it is for future generations. God's blessings are generational. When He elevates you, He does so not only to honor your faithfulness, but to establish His covenant with those who will come after you. The impact of your obedience and perseverance extends far beyond your lifetime, touching the lives of your children, grandchildren, and many others who will benefit from the foundation you build through your faith. What you endure and the sacrifices you make today will ripple through the generations, creating a legacy of faithfulness that will outlive you. However, the ultimate reward for the chosen is not of this world. It is the promise of eternal life with God. Jesus tells us in John 14:2-3, In my Father's house are many mansions. I'm going to prepare a place for you. The eternal reward that awaits those who endure is immeasurable. It transcends anything this world can offer. The struggles and sacrifices of this life will pale in comparison to the joy of being with God forever. He blesses us with peace that surpasses all understanding, joy that cannot be taken away, and His abiding presence that sustains us. These are the treasures that sustain us as we wait for the full manifestation of God's promises, knowing that our reward is secure in heaven. As you endure the cost of being chosen, remember that God's promises are far greater than any sacrifice you make. Whether in this life or the next, the reward will be more than you could ever ask or imagine, and it will last for all eternity. As the chosen ones walk in obedience to God's call, they leave behind a powerful legacy that extends far beyond their own lives. Think of the lives of biblical figures like Abraham, Joseph, Esther, and David. Through their obedience and unwavering faith, they shaped the course of history. Abraham's obedience led to the establishment of a great nation. Joseph's faithfulness saved an entire people. Esther's courage brought deliverance to her people, and David's heart after God's own led to the rise of Israel. These stories serve as reminders that our lives too have the potential to leave a lasting legacy when we choose to walk in God's purpose. Your life, just like theirs, has the power to become a living testimony of God's faithfulness, courage, and love. As you walk in obedience to God's call, you are not just living for today, but are laying the foundation for a legacy that will endure for generations. Hebrews 12:1 encourages us with these words, "Therefore, since we are surrounded by such a great cloud of witnesses, let us throw off everything that hinders and the sin that so easily entangles." The faith and perseverance of those who have gone before us inspire us to press forward toward the prize, knowing that our journey is part of a much larger story. The legacy of the chosen one is not defined by worldly success or accolades, but by the impact on the kingdom of God. Every prayer you pray, every step of faith you take, and every act of kindness you perform adds to the legacy you are building. The way you live your life in obedience to God will leave an imprint on the hearts of those around you and on the lives of those who will come after you. Your obedience, no matter how small it may seem at the moment, is part of a bigger picture, pointing others to the God who is faithful to His promises. As you walk this journey, remember that your life is not just about you. It is about the generations you are impacting and the eternal difference you are making. Beloved, the journey of the chosen is not easy, but it is worth it. The cost is high, the sacrifices are real, and the battles are fierce. Yet, the reward is beyond what we can imagine. God sees every tear, every sacrifice, every step of faith you've taken, and He is faithful to reward those who diligently seek Him. Keep fighting, keep believing, keep pressing forward. Your reward is closer than you think. Embrace the cost, knowing that the reward is already secured for you in heaven. Every sacrifice you make is preparing you for the eternal glory that awaits. You are chosen, beloved. Now is the time to embrace the cost and prepare for the reward that is coming. Believe it, receive it, and walk in it. Thank you for joining us on this journey. Let's subscribe and like this video to stay connected if you haven't subscribed yet. For those who have already subscribed, we deeply appreciate your continued support. Your faithfulness is a blessing, and we're grateful to walk this path with you.